Hi, fifth graders. It's Miss Stewart back with you talking about fractions. Okay, so today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. And you can do this if you know how to do equivalent fractions from yesterday. First, I'm going to remind you something about fourth grade math with adding and subtracting fractions. And that is that when you have some numbers that you want to add, some fractions that you want to add, if the denominators are the same, you just go ahead and add or subtract the numerators. So 1/4 and 2/4 added together is 3/4. 5/8 minus 3/8 is 2/8. Okay, so when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we keep the denominator the same. That's why we need a common denominator when we're adding and subtracting fractions. You only add or subtract the numerators. So we call this a green light problem because we didn't need to change any of the denominators. We didn't need to find equivalent fractions. We could just go ahead and add or subtract. Whoops! That is not going to be the case in fifth grade. You are going to have times where you need to convert some fractions. So the first thing you need to do is find a common denominator, and what that is, it's the lowest common multiple of your two denominators. So it's a multiple of both, and it helps if you can find the lowest shared. Common means shared in this context. Okay? You want to find the lowest common multiple of both of your denominators. So then you're going to make an equivalent fraction. You're going to convert fractions if necessary and rewrite the expression adding or subtracting the numerators only. So a yellow light problem is one like this, where we look at our denominators and we think, what is the lowest common multiple of 4 and 8? And right away, since I know my multiplication facts, I know that 8 is a multiple of 4. So I actually don't need to convert this fraction. Our lowest common multiple is going to be 8. This one's all set. It's good to go. But that 1/4, I'm going to need to convert that into an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 8. Okay? And if I remember from yesterday, what that requires me to do is look at what gets us from 4 to 8 here. And whatever I do to the denominator, I need to do to the numerator. So if I'm multiplying by 2 here, I need to multiply by 2 up here, and I get 2/8. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite my expression, and I have too many markers in my hand. I didn't need to convert this one. This can stay the same. I have 3/8 now, and I have 2/8. And because I have a common denominator, I can just now add my numerators. Don't add the denominators. Both of these are eighths, and my result is also going to be in eighths. And I get 5/8. What about when we look at a situation like this? Well, this is our red light problem. It sort of gets us ready for the fact that we're going to have to convert both of these fractions because 3 is not a multiple of 2, and 2 is not a multiple of 3. Okay, so we have to go back to this step, finding the common denominator, which is the lowest common multiple of these two numbers. One way to do that is to multiply the two numbers together. It's not always going to be the lowest. The result of doing that might not always be the lowest. In this case, it is. 2 times 3 is 6. And 6 is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. It means it's a shared multiple of those. If I count by 2s and I count by 3s, I'm going to get to 6 pretty quick. So knowing that I have to convert both of these to a fraction with a denominator of 6. I'm going to do my work over here on the side. 2/3 equals what over 6? Well, I had to multiply that by 2. I'm going to do the same thing here in the numerator, and I get 4/6. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2. For this one, I had to multiply by 3 to get 6. So if I did it here, multiply by 3, I'm also going to do that to the numerator, and I get 3/6. Now I can rewrite my problem as 4/6 minus 3/6 and I can complete my subtraction by subtracting the numerators and keeping the denominators as they are. So 4/6 minus 3/6 is 1/6. Really quickly, one other way to find the common denominator is to make a T-chart with your two denominators and start counting by threes. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, there it is. So in this case also it happened to be 3 times 4. That's another way you can find that least common multiple. And then make an equivalent fraction, whether you have to convert one of the fractions or possibly both in the case of a red light problem. And then rewrite your expression, adding or subtracting the numerators only.